hey everyone, coming to you under this and this and this and this, and I want to explode, and I'm claustrophobic, and I don't like it. Corona, Corona, please go away. Let's go.
Gotta get it how it goes now. You gotta take it off the nose. It's off the nose. Gotta get back in control now. Let's stop believing in ourselves. It's off the nose.
Okay, so have you seen this? Have you seen some version of this? I don't like it, okay? What is this? Seriously? This, I can somewhat stomach. This, I walked in, I don't know, a few weeks ago when everything opened up where I am, and to get a massage, and they had these on. I said, take that shit off your face. You look absolutely ridiculous, to the front desk. She proceeded to tell me if they don't wear it, they're fired. So whatever, but seriously, first of all, I get it. Like, if I go straight at somebody with a big old sneeze, okay, and they're right in my face, I guess it's gonna stop it. But you got a lot of stuff going on coming out under here. I can't look at it. So then let's go to this. All right. When this whole thing started, I was like, this is bullshit. I'm not wearing some mask. And we all remember that they didn't know if we should wear the mask or shouldn't wear the mask. It was very confusing. So back March 13th, when the whole thing started, you know, I was like, this is crazy. It's another flu. It's a strain we've not seen. Everybody calm the freak down is what I said. I allowed my son to keep working. He worked all through Corona, never stopped working. Did we wash our hands more? Sure. I guess we all learned how to wash our hands. We all learned what a good sanitizer is and what a bullshit sanitizer is. I mean, there's some good things, yeah. I mean, the fact that the airplanes are actually getting cleaned, novel concept. So I thank Corona for that, for sure. I thank Corona for a lot of other things. You know, there's been some great stuff, bonding with the family and cooking more and work from home that hopefully extends now forever, because why do we want to put more cars on the roads and go, you know, work with people when you can be home and you can be more involved with your family and have true life-work balance. So I don't need to go on and on about what has been good about Corona. I think everybody took something from this experience, which is not over. Yeah, because I still got it on, don't I? It's coming off shortly. But for those of you listening, I had a face shield on and took it off, and I have my mask on, and it will be coming off shortly, but I wanted to make a point in case you haven't been blessed by walking into an establishment and seeing that. Now you can say you've seen it. So there's good out of Corona, yes, and the bad, oh God, we have no idea the bad, right? I mean, divorce and relationship issues, and God help us, domestic abuse, and child hunger, and businesses, oh my God, businesses not being able to survive, you know, a few weeks, sure, but not this long, and tried and true businesses going down. So we're seeing the negative side to Corona for sure. You know, look, this thing started, they're fairly certain, with an animal, but through the lab, not in some market, in China, yes. And, you know, so it is what it is. It could have started anywhere, whatever. all the information wasn't shared. Okay, I think we're all big boys and girls. We understand that too. Once we got the information, we tried to do what we could do with the information as quickly as we could. Who the hell wants to be in that seat? Yeah, that guy's seat. I know, you don't have to like him every day, but do you want to really be Trump? Everybody likes to sit back on their little social media and talk about how bad a job he's doing or did or whatever, every freaking move he makes. Would you want to do it? Not easy. You know, if you really study the information, they didn't have all the information. And scientists are disagreeing with what's really going to happen and what steps we really should take. So you're listening to all these smart people have different opinions, and then you've got to make a decision. And, you know, I wouldn't want to be in that seat. So it's not up for us, in my opinion, to judge that so closely and specifically, because they even told us that we shouldn't wear a face mask, and now they do, and then they're not sure, and we're still not really sure. So, I mean, there is a general consensus that, hey, if you cover your face and you sneeze, you probably are releasing less particles. I think we all can agree on that, okay? But I'm gonna take the face mask off, all right? Offy we go. Now I'm a person again, okay. I even looked up and tried to get, you know, a cool one. It's made out of hemp. I wish it was made out of cannabis or something. I could have been smelling that all day. But I did get a cool one made out of linen, hemp linen, to try to coordinate for when I do have to wear this thing. But, you know, where we are right now, now the fear is back. So, you know, everything was Corona when it came out. And of course it was, yeah, we care about public health, but we really care about how we can use this to attack Trump. So let's get on that bandwagon. Oh my God, he should have known. And oh my God, we should have done this. He closed the borders first with no knowledge of much else. Okay, so he didn't do nothing. And then it was, as information's coming in, you're making the most informed decisions you can. I think the best thing he did was putting Pence over this task force and having another voice coming out of the White House, I think is a good thing. We all know our strengths and weaknesses, and sometimes President Trump gets a little excited and blurs the line on some things, okay? So none of us are perfect. And so I think it's a good thing that Pence took over the task force. And then, you know, information's flying in. So then we have George Floyd, and everybody diverts their attention to Black Lives Matter and equal opportunity and diversity and phenomenal things that, you know, shouldn't even be something that we have to have a platform for, but they are. So that's where all the attention is. Well, now we've had a little spiky spike, haven't we? Okay, well, if you are a person who generally wakes up in fear, then you are scared shitless of Corona. I would be the opposite of that, okay? So maybe I should worry a little bit more than I do. I don't. So I would be over here more, I believe, in the common sense category. And then you've got your fear mongers that are freaking out that there's going to be a second wave. If I hear second wave again, I'm gonna pop somebody. Second wave. Okay, there's a spike. Why is there a spike? Because young people are out. Of course they're out. Who the hell wants to be at home for 1 second more? No one, right? Okay, of course they're out. They're out. What do when they go out? They go out in groups. So the numbers are up because the younger people are getting it. They have admitted that it's younger people getting it. Who cares? Who cares if they get it? In fact, if more younger people get it, then we can add and maybe we can create some herd immunity. You've heard this term, right? Herd immunity. If we can get to a herd, so a large percentage of people immune, herd immunity, which that's arguable, but most people would agree 50%. The media likes to say 50 to 70% because that's the media, but 50% is what most biologists are saying. They're also arguing about what percentage we're at right now. If you listen to the media, they say we're at 7%. If you listen to biologists, they say we're more at 25%. So, somewhere in between there lies the truth. Common sense, girl, says probably more like 25%. So, if we keep letting the young people get out, because they don't result in deaths, right? Young people getting it are mostly asymptomatic. Perhaps we can increase the herd immunity and Corona can go bye-bye. So that's just my back of the napkin thinking on this, and it's interesting, right? We're looking at these numbers. Well, I looked into how exactly do we count the cases. And for your information, every jurisdiction reports to the CDC on a voluntary basis, okay? So there's no law that says that an urgent care or a hospital or a doctor's office has to report, or a lab. There are 56 jurisdictions in the United States, and they are all reporting with different methodology. All right, even though the CDC does have rules. So one thing you should know is we count probable cases as cases. Yeah, so if you're almost kinda sorta, the CDC says you are. So that makes no sense, but you should know that about the numbers. So if you go in and I kind of have a headache, and well, have you been anywhere where there could have been a group of people that have Corona? Well, yeah, just about anywhere. So you are probable now. Ta-da! There's a probable case. Then you have a situation where the doctor's office thinks you're probable. Your tests go to the lab. Then the lab reports you as a case. So now you have multiple sources potentially reporting you as a case. Okay, so you really have to understand that this is sort of like an open source project. It's voluntarily reporting numbers. Do I think most people wake up with good intentions every day? Yes. I think that most people are reporting the numbers the way they should, or the way they think is best to their best ability. Are there some people that are like, Democrats? Yeah, let's count a few more probables today. Yes, there's probably some of that. But more importantly, it's the way we are counting it, and probable counts as confirmed. So that's not good in the numbers. The reason we're seeing this spike recently is young people being out, which again, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think if you live with your grandparents, then you probably need to consider your choices. But, we're not Europe or Latin America. We grow up and move away, right? We send cards on Hallmark holidays. So we don't typically, in America, I'm talking generalities here, live on top of each other and with generational family members. So probably not a lot of that going on, but there is some, and so you gotta have common sense. It's just to me, this is all about fear versus common sense. Fear wears a shield. In fact, if you saw my post about my trip to Colorado recently, when I went to get on the flight, I had a guy in front of me in full hazmat. Oh yeah. I so wanted to ask this guy, like, do you typically wear that to have sex? Like, can you imagine how long he takes to wash his vegetables after the market? Wow. I mean, that was some entertainment, but he was full bodysuit. I mean, not one piece, not his neck, not one piece was out. So I would guess he wakes up in fear on a regular basis. So we are looking at 2.4 million cases. Again, remember, probable and confirmed are all in there. 124,000 deaths. We've done 32 million tests. 9% come back positive, okay? The number of tests are going up. Of course they're going up. Here's another one for you. Guess what else is in the count? The antibody test. So I don't know what's going on in your circle, but I'm hearing people in my circle, oh, I'm just gonna go get tested. I'm just curious, especially with the antibody test, because people really wanna think and believe that they've had it, right? I don't know what they're gonna do with that information, but maybe there's some sense of calm for those fear-monger folks, and so they can calm down if they know they have the test. So a lot of people are just going to get the test. And these hospitals and doctors and urgent cares and labs aren't saying you can't get the test. They don't care if you have symptoms. They know a lot of people don't have symptoms. Most don't have symptoms. So there is no prerequisites to get this test, okay? Now, in other countries, they are doing that. Their test numbers are down. They are not allowing tests until you have major symptoms and you can prove, that you have been directly in contact within 6 feet for over 10 minutes of conversation with people with COVID. That's what's going on in other countries in Europe, but not here. So careful when you see the numbers, right? Voluntary, antibodies count in the test, probable counts in the confirmed. We're not seeing the mortality rate go up. In fact, it's the lowest it's been. Why? Because the people are getting tested just because they're bored and they're curious and they're maybe considering traveling. And so they're like, well, I'll get tested to see. And maybe it'll help relieve my anxiety if I think I've already had it. That's why people are getting tested, okay? And young people getting tested because they're out in groups. So what? I don't see the issues. Under 18, it's lower than the flu, the number of people having any issues or, God forbid, dying. So fear versus common sense. Look at things with open eyes. Look at who's delivering the information. Just saying. So I get it. There's like this urge, to go figure it out. But remember, the reason that we closed down was because we feared, legitimately so, that there wouldn't be enough hospital beds, okay? There's just under 1 million hospital beds if you count all hospital facilities across the country. So they were predicting how many people might get it at any given time, and there was concern there wouldn't be enough hospital beds. So we closed down. A lot of information that wasn't accurate at the time, but again, you make the best decisions with the information you have at hand. If you remember, Trump was pushing everybody, let's be out by Easter. And there was a lot of argument for that. But he had a lot of pressure. And so I have a lot of empathy with small businesses. We did get a little help from the government with the stimulus package. And so that was great, but everybody should want to be back at work. Businesses open. We got to get schools back open. Now they're finally saying, yes, kids should be in school. No shit. This isn't a kid disease. No shit. We got to get sports back up. We got to get schools back open. Businesses, for the most part, are open. Some reclosed. Use common sense, okay? So, you know, I'm over it. I'm gonna keep cooking and enjoying some time with my family that maybe I haven't had, and working from home and doing a lot of my interviews over Zoom. Not bad, it's fine, it's great. Don't mind wearing this once in a while if it makes sense. You don't need to wear this all the time though, okay? I'm super healthy. I'm not afraid of getting corona. So what am I afraid of? Well, nothing, generally speaking. I think we already covered that, but I certainly don't want to get someone who is compromised. I don't want to get them sick. So I'm going to use my brain and common sense. And I carry this with me. And when it makes sense, or when I feel like I could be too close to people, or I see older people, I'm going to be respectful. Now, in the same vein, I would say, why the hell are they out? All right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're over 65 or that you're compromised and you have to stay home. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry that Corona likes you more than they like me. I'm sorry. I didn't create Corona, okay? If this disease attacked, you know, white women in their 40s, okay, then my ass is staying home. It's veggie burgers and eggs and grilled veggies for a long, long time, okay? I can deal. I'll deal with it, all right? Netflix, keep producing. But it's just the luck of the draw. They're gonna get a vaccine. My God, you see how fast they're working on a vaccine? I mean, just sit the hell down and stop with any criticism, because never in our history have we seen somebody like President Trump and Mike Pence lead a vaccine development at the speed that it is being developed. It's unheard of. It aligns with our culture today because we want it, and we want it now, man, and we don't know how to wait. But it's unheard of. So a little of that, please, would go a long way for what this government is accomplishing right now, because government normally doesn't do shit. But President Trump, you gotta give it to him. He's not always eloquent, and you might not want him to be with your daughter, but that dude gets shit done, and shit is getting done right now. So what is the OTN outtake of today? Look, if you're 65 or older or compromised, stay home. Stay home. You know that public service announcement you're seeing all the celebrities do? Yeah, they say we all should stay home. No, screw them. They don't know what they're talking about. If you're 65 or older, or if you have a compromised situation though, stay home. In fact, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in today had we not just made that group stay home. That's what we should have done. Mask, carry a mask, get one that you know you like. I don't know, if you don't care, then just get one of those cheap blue ones and pretend you're a doctor for the day. Otherwise, go get one that you like. You know, go Louis Vuitton, go Gucci, go Chicago Bears. I don't give a shit. Black Lives Matter has one now. They all have them. Just buy a freaking mask, put it in your car, okay, or in your handbag, whatever you're into, in your backpack, and use common sense, okay? I go out and run every day. I walk every day. I'm not wearing this to exercise. I don't even care if it becomes law. I'm not wearing it to exercise. And when I see people who do, I'm like, 9-1-1, because you're gonna fall over and die. It's 100 degrees here and you have a mask on. You look absolutely ridiculous, okay? You don't need to wear a mask to go out and run in the middle of nowhere. If you're going to be in a crowded situation and the 65 and older didn't listen and they're out, yeah, they're dumb, you know whaters, of course, but they're out. So throw the mask on, walk past them, and la-di-da, okay? Sports, travel, business, schools, open. You must be open. This economy must continue, okay? If you lose your ass, it's on you. Don't sit back and blame Trump, and don't sit back and blame the government. It is on you. Get your ass open, put whatever measures in place you're comfortable with. Look, a lot of this is about liability, right? We know this. If you don't know this, please come out from under the rock, okay? This is about liability. All the face mask and the temperature checks and the 100-page documents that Major League Baseball has and the 17-page documents that restaurant has and blah, blah, blah. It's all about liability. Is there a portion that cares about public health? Yes. How common sense is it versus about liability? It's about 10% common sense and 90% liability. But that's the world we live in. So create whatever rules you need to create, but get your ass open, in business, moving forward with a smile on your face that we can't see. But you know what? You can twinkle in your eye with your mask on, all right? So I want to see the twinkle. Open it up, people. And, don't go get tested. Don't run and go get tested. What's it going to do? What's it going to do? If you're a guy that wakes up with fear every day, this test isn't going to make you feel any better. You're going to start questioning whether the test is accurate. Okay? Know your limitations. Don't go get tested if you have no reason to be tested. All right? My son, his stepsister, ex from an ex relationship, he doesn't live with her, but he was around her on Father's Day, wasn't even in close contact. She tested positive. So he went, I said, okay, it's appropriate for you to go test because he is around older people, playing tennis and at the country club that he goes to play tennis and so forth, right? Competitive situations. So I said, you should get tested because you were within 6 feet for over a 10-minute conversation, even though he had no symptoms. He went, he got tested, he tested negative, his dad tested negative, everybody that was there that day all tested negative. That made sense to go get tested. But I didn't go get tested, okay? But I know if I was a wake up and fear person, I would have went and got tested. Well, if he was close to her and she was close to him and then I probably have it. No, it's not common sense. Why go get tested? First of all, why spend the money? Second of all, even though the insurance companies and the government are paying for the test, why do that to myself either? Because somehow that comes back out of my pocket. So it makes no sense. I don't need to go through all of that. And clearly I made the right decision. Now, if he would have tested positive, then I would have got a test because I'm living in a house with somebody with it. So use your brain, common sense before fear. Don't get tested unless you work with older people, you're 65 or plus, you've been directly in contact for a 10-minute conversation or more within 6 feet, use your brain. What else can I tell you? I don't know, maybe don't eat meat. That's a whole nother show, but this did come from an animal, and that's where most of these things come from. So if you're interested in that, I'll post some stuff today, but there's a lot of, especially out of Germany, Sweden, biologists that can go on and on about why we shouldn't be eating meat. This has nothing to do with the fact that I own Beyond Meat stock. No, very little bit, but I don't eat meat. So yeah, I'm a big believer in that, but Corona should have brought more of that to the surface. So we'll do another show on that, but that is part of the outtake. Hey, you know what else? Turn off the news. They're lying to you, so turn it off, okay? These numbers, now you know the truth. Now you know how to look at the numbers, so don't listen. And in the end, the most important thing I can say today is if we ever want to get rid of Corona or any other thing that's going to come into our lives and bring a little adversity, let's go common sense. Fork in the road, baby. Fear to the left, common sense to the right. Go right. Stay safe. Use your brain. Carry the mask. Fuck the shield. I'll see you all soon.
Better change up your perspective. It's out the nose.